Now, I think the problem is, this is where everyone goes wrong. People are perfectionists. People want everything to be perfect, and if they're not doing it perfectly, then they feel like they're not doing it at all. Hello and welcome to another vlog on YouTube and podcast on Spotify by the Fit Minds podcast and also on Apple Podcasts. I always forget that we're on there too. Coach Mariah Jean here. Today's podcast topic was actually going to be about something completely different. I think I was going to do why you can't stick to your diet. And I have just full circle pivoted to giving up on your goals across the Christmas and even the New Year period, because I have seen an influx of people not being ready, not wanting to stick to their plan, feeling like they can't stick to their plan across the Christmas period. I see it every year. I see the same shit every year, over and over again. I've been doing this myself for like 13 years and I've been coaching for over 10 now. And the same recurring theme sits with the same people who can't seem to lose weight and keep it off, right? Where they keep gaining it back and they can't maintain, is that they all have the same attitude towards their health and their wellness and their goals across the Christmas period. All of them drop off. All of them. Every single one of them, and they all do the same thing. They drop off for a few weeks and then they, I'll get back into things in the new year, and they take their time, and it comes February and and they give it a really good red hot shot for say 6 weeks or so, and then they kind of come around, the Easter period comes around, and then it's just like plummets, right? We see, I know I have nothing to be stressed about if I'm thinking about sign-ups, because I've just literally done Black Friday and it's just gone nuts. But across the Christmas period for me, because I kind of sit back in my chair and I just wait, and I wait until January rolls around, and you get some people who are early and they come in, first week leading into January, or even the week before January. I want to get in early before you fill out your spots. And then some people mid-January, and then this massive influx of people sign up at the end of January. It's like they go, oh no, I'm late, and school's gone back for the kids, and now I can prioritize myself. So, by the way, we're cooking in the kitchen with me today again. I'm making my dinner and my kids' dinner. So, how do we tackle this? Why are you giving up on your goals at Christmas? Let's talk about it. Why is it happening? And how do we prevent you from going around in this vicious cycle that you have every single year? You do it every year you fail, and you wonder why. You end up in the position you end up in. Just so you know, I don't do that. Look at people who sustain their lifestyle. They could have multiple children, one child, work full-time, run a company like I do. I've got mums on my books now, 125 of them, right? Or 125 clients in total. There's other people, other mums, but lots of mums. And they are literally staying on to make sure they have something to keep them accountable. Now, I think the problem is, this is where everyone goes wrong. People are perfectionists. People want everything to be perfect, and if they're not doing it perfectly, then they feel like they're not doing it at all. And that's where you go wrong with your Christmas period and your goals and falling off track, is that you think perfection or nothing is key, right? If I can't be perfect, then what is the point in following anything? I may as well just not follow a meal plan, not follow my macros, not even attempt to try to do it, because I'll just round it off to the new year. And all of a sudden you end up with 4 to 8 weeks of absolute mayhem and a recipe for disaster, for chaos to occur, not just around you in your environment, because we know it's a crazy time of year, but for chaos to occur internally, where all of your habits come undone, where you start to self-sabotage, where you eat like an idiot, because you know you're doing it. And you just go, it doesn't matter because I'll just do everything in the new year. And I can't stress enough, don't do that. My number one tip for staying on track over Christmas is don't throw the towel in completely if you can't be perfect. I'm probably not going to be perfect across Christmas. I'm not going to lie. I'm going away to Mackay for a week to see family. And the chances of me tracking my macros and being completely on point with a meal plan are very slim when I'm in somebody else's household where they may not eat the same foods that we eat. And of course, we'll go grocery shopping and we'll get some things that we like and yada yada. But like in the big scheme of things, I'm not going to be perfect, all right? Probably not going to go to the gym that week either. I'm going to be in the little middle of nowhere. So that's another factor to consider is, okay, I'm not going to be training. Just because I'm not training doesn't mean I can't be mindful with my nutrition. This is this whole extreme black and white thinking. I don't know where it's come from. Possibly with the millennial generation, we got introduced to dieting and the whole concept of being on a diet as being something that was a temporary period of time and that we would go back to doing what we did previously after we'd finished dieting. And the problem with that is that we then normalize this idea that the diet is not how we usually live our normal lifestyle, and we have these extreme ideation and perception of what a healthy lifestyle looks like. So then we kind of put ourselves in this box where it's like, well, I can either be good or I can be bad. I can either be on track or I can either be off track. That is not true. That is not true. Otherwise, how the blipping blip do you think I survived 13 Christmases since I started my fitness journey without feeling like I've got to start all over again in the new year? Like, I'm not strict. I'm not, I eat nice things across Christmas. I go to celebrationary events. I enjoy myself on Christmas Day. Christmas Day is one day. Like, I'm so passionate about this, I'm throwing my pumpkin. Christmas Day is one day. It's one day. Oh yeah, but we've got Boxing Day and we've got another thing with the family and then we've got camping and then we've got this and we've got that and we've got... Cool. Take some foods with you that are more aligned with your goals. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself. Sausages. Get some extra lean beef sausages or some kangaroo sausages if you can stomach them. Chicken sausages, they're leaner than beef sausages, full fat beef if you're gonna go camping. Steak that's a leaner cut. Take tinned vegetables with you to help keep you fuller for longer. Instead of taking crisps and chips that are very deeply fried in oil, take ones that have less oil, less added fat, right? Make decisions for yourself and your family and your food that don't necessarily have to have you being completely perfect, but sometimes having that structure, having meal plans to go by, it's not a cage. It actually gives you a guide as to what you can choose instead of the other stuff that maybe isn't as ideal for your goals. And you don't have to give up on your goals across Christmas. You don't, you really don't. I've seen people lose Christmas because they don't perceive this time of year to be any different to any other time of year, in that Christmas doesn't just magically mean that all health concerns or everything you needed for yourself and wanted for yourself in 2025 mean, right? How do we mentally justify that our goals matter more in a span of 8 weeks when it's just a change of time? It's not actually, the new year is just our perception of the new year. It is not, do you know what I mean? It's a new year, but there's nothing magical that happens from the 31st of December to the 1st of January. Nothing happens in that time. And if you believe in it, if you think that the new year is a new opportunity and we'll put this year behind me and I just can't wait to see this year gone and blah, 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 the same shit you've said to yourself every other year, fall victim to the same crap, do the same cycle. Oh, I'm going to start fresh in the new year. I'm going to be so good. Did you do that this year? Did you do it last year? Did you do it the year before? Did you do it the year before that? Did you do it the year before that? Did you do it? No, that doesn't mean you can't, but it means you need to start changing the way you think about Christmas. Because it's nuts. Christmas is a commercialized time of the year where we buy presents, and our kids, it's nice for the kids, of course it's for the kids. If it's for the kids, why the fuck are you eating the kids' chocolate? Like, if it's for the kids, why are you snacking on the shit that is for the kids? Why are you doing this? Why? Why are you justifying the choices that you make across Christmas? Because it's your mind, it's a different time of year. Don't get me wrong. Do you know my favorite thing to do with my partner at Christmas? Now we have our daughter, it's even better. My favorite thing to do, and we do it every year, it's a tradition, is to look at Christmas lights together. Nothing we do together that we look forward to doing is like revolving around eating shit. Eating food that just, in amounts that makes us feel sick and gross anyway. Do you know how many times I get people tell me, like, I'm sick of feeling like this, and they come into the Christmas period and all they have is dread and fear of gaining weight. Like, I've had so many phone calls the last couple of days where there are literally women saying to me, Mariah, please help me. I don't want to gain more weight across Christmas. This can't get any worse. And you don't have to. You do not have to. But you cannot possibly expect weight and do this alone if you've not ever done it before. If you've never done this successfully, you need help. This is not me saying don't have faith in yourself. You might be able to make good choices. I don't know. Maybe you've enough. But if you can say hand on heart, I really don't think I've got the skill set just yet, now is not the time to be giving up on your goals. Now is the absolute opposite time to be saying, oh, I'll just take care of it later. Because do you know what the statistics say? This is really scary. The statistics say that majority of the population gains around 5 kilos at Christmas, and then most of those people go to try and lose that 5 kilos plus the other weight that they tried to lose the previous year. They try to do it in the new year and then they don't succeed at it. And so each year they gain another 5 kilos. That is how we get progressively more overweight as time goes on. Now, that's not me being brutally honest and mean. It's me being brutally honest and real. Like, this is because people get to Christmas and they completely crumble. They don't even remotely consider that there are interventions and methods you can use which are not extreme to prevent weight gain. And sometimes I feel guilty across the Christmas period. I watch people go through the same shit over and over again, and they are eating similar foods to me, but not quite the same. And I watch them gain weight, and I think to myself, I just wish everyone knew what I knew so I could save them, so I could help them, so I could, stop them from going around in circles and doing the same shit and expecting different results. And here's the truth. You can't do it on your own because you're not a nutritionist, you're not a dietitian, you don't have that skill set unless you know how to track your macros and do your own meal plans. But the thing is, right, this time of year is really stressful, okay? There's a lot of mums saying, end of school, end of year with work, we've got Christmas presents to buy, we've got Christmas shopping, Christmas photos, it's a lot. Elf on the shelf. I was on the treadmill this morning at the gym and I was listening to, not on purpose, I forgot my headphones. I would never do that on purpose or willingly. But I was accidentally listening to a mother's conversation with another mother on the treadmill. And they were talking about all these things they were doing for the kids and the different chocolates they were buying and this and this and this and this is what they were getting, and they were getting them some PJs. And I thought, the things that the mums do, us as mums, we do for our kids, we've already done all of our Christmas shopping for Lila. Done, finished. We did it literally in a space of an hour online. We're like, that out of the way, it's done. And the Christmas tree also ordered online. And we'll probably put it up together. Like, we have made this such a simple process. And I'm sure it'll get more complex as the years go on. She is more aware. But this year, we're just doing the basics, right? And I listened to these mums and they were rattling on, bless them, like not having a go at them, about all the amazing things they were doing for their kids. And here they were on the treadmill doing their steps. And I just thought to myself, not once in their conversation did either of them talk about how they're going to look after themselves, what they're going to do, a contingency plan with food, like how they're going to manage some of the events, how they're feeling about themselves, their confidence. It was all about their kids. Now, don't get me wrong, as a mum, my life, I'm literally making food for my daughter at the moment. It revolves around my daughter and my business and my partner, right? And there is very little left over for me, but it is so important across Christmas. I don't care how busy you are. I do not care what you have on. I don't care what craziness and stress you're going through. I do care, but I'm saying it is irrelevant. You still need a piece of the pie for yourself, because at the end of the day, if you do not slightly, even remotely consider yourself across the Christmas period, you are absolutely useless to everybody else and you are miserable. Your experience of Christmas is just trash. Your experience of the holidays, trash. You're stressed, strung out, and not just that, you're doing it completely and utterly fueled incorrectly, right? You have no nutrition, no structure, no exercise. You are literally a ticking time bomb waiting to go off at your kids. You are going to collapse in a heap and then wonder why you do the same thing every single year. And then you'll be in my inbox in January begging me to take you on when I'm full. Now, this isn't to try and get people to sign on with me. Again, this is not the whole gist of my podcast. But the idea is that this chronic procrastination that you are practicing with what you're wanting to accomplish for yourself and rounding it off and putting it into the next year because of 1 month, which is actually really 1 day, is ridiculous. And you know it, and I know it, and I don't need to over-explain myself for you to understand that concept. There are two completely separate types in this world, right? The first kind, who maintain their health, their wellness, their confidence, their body composition, their energy levels. Like, I'm 20 months postpartum and I feel amazing even though I'm sleep deprived. And I'm looking my best. I've never felt this confident since, it's been years, right? Since I competed. And I don't feel flat and crap. And the stress of Christmas doesn't feel so stressful because I have energy, because I'm eating well. And so I know that in stressful periods, the first thing I need to do, sure, I'm eating well, because if I don't, everything else feels shit and feels so much harder than it needs to be. If you are not feeling right, if you're setting up a Christmas tree and you haven't had anything to eat all day, if it's Christmas Day and you've barely drank water, it's no one else's fault but your own that you're forgetting yourself. And this is the whole point. There's the whole reason why I pivoted my business to coaching for just mums, is because mums don't know how to look after themselves, because this is going to sound rough, but they are pre-programmed to look after their kids, right? So when I say this, I say it lovingly. You still matter. You still matter. And you should stop dismissing yourself across Christmas and saying, into the new year, it's too hard because there's just too much going on, right? Making a smoothie for breakfast takes a couple of minutes. You cannot tell me you do not have time to do that. What it is, it's not the time that you don't have, it's the mental capacity to put yourself somewhere in the equation and to include yourself and to actually see yourself as important enough. If you actually add up the time that I spend making food or whatever for myself to be healthy enough to feel great, you know, to maintain body weight, all that type of stuff, keep body fat off. If you add up the time versus, for example, the time it would take for me to do the more convenient option, the comparison would be next to no difference. In fact, probably none. It is our perception of eating well, taking time, that is the problem. And you know what? It's the mental pressure that we place on ourselves to eat on a plan or to eat structured or have routine. It's actually got nothing to do with, this is so fucking simple. It's broccoli, carrot, and pumpkin, and I chop it and I put it in a thing and I boil it. That is so simple. I've for the next 2 to 3 days for me and my child, right? And they are excuses. Making excuses as to why you can't do these very simple basic things doesn't come to laziness. It comes down to your perception of what is hard. And so what you're doing on your mind right now, right? And I learned this in business coaching, is all you're doing is the things coming at you and you're going, oh, I've got this event and so-and-so's texted me and this has happened and I got this da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da and surgery and da-da-da-da. That's your head is just gone, it's going off, right? All you need, one thing you need to do is realize that nothing is more important than your basic survival. And survival comes down to what you eat. I'm not even kidding. People die because they don't eat well. Eventually, they get chronic disease, cancer. This is the shit that people don't realize. They are leading themselves to an early death and they make jokes about it and think it's really funny. I know how important nutrition is. And I know it's far more bloody important than to the neighbour's house to go and pick up some of their Christmas crackle because they made it for you and also having a chat for 3 hours because you got invited. Sure, but that's not something that's more important than prepping some meals for yourself or your family. It's not. It's never going to be more important. And you know what? The difference is your perception. Is not the environment and what is happening to you. It is your perception of it. So I want you to go into this Christmas period completely differently, because this is coming from someone who does this successfully, okay? I'm going to Fiji in January as well. I have zero anxiety about weight gain in Fiji. None. Zilch. None. Why? Because I've developed the skill set to understand nutrition enough to be able to enjoy myself, still eat the things I like when I'm over there, and not gain weight. Won't lose weight, not going to aim to do that. But I know how to do this, right? I can guarantee 95% of you not only don't have the skill set, but you don't have the, I'm going to say, self-accountability to do things like this on your own, because when you're left to your own demise, you self-sabotage, you throw in the towel, you go to these extremes. One of the most important things I do with my mums is teach them that maintaining your results, not gaining weight over Christmas, maybe not losing it, you might, we don't know, but not gaining comes down to some really, really basic decisions that we make on a daily basis. And guess what? None of those add to your stress levels. None of them. They actually take away from them. They make you happier. They make you a better person to be around. And it makes all of that stressful shit less stressful because you feel better while you're doing it, right? There is no way I could deliver a podcast on like next to no hours worth of sleep if my nutrition wasn't there. So think about all the things you're doing in your day right now. Think about them all. Think about all of the things that you have to do on your big old to-do list, and then think about doing them in a way where you don't feel like shit. Think about doing the things you need to do where you feel your best while you're doing them. Do you not think that if that were possible, you would do it more effectively, faster, you'd be able to think clearer, you would not feel so, how would I put it? Overwhelmed is what it is. And when you're overwhelmed, you make silly choices with food because your blood sugar's low. We have these things that go hand in hand together, which is not eating enough, blood sugar is low, I'm at a Christmas event, there's shit on offer everywhere, and all of a sudden it's like you're going ham. All because you didn't eat breakfast, all because you rushed out the door, all because you didn't take those 5 minutes to make your smoothie, all because you didn't think that you mattered. And as a result, the after effect, the aftershock of that is that they get the worst version of you as a mother across the Christmas period. Because you're internally hating yourself as well. You're hating this, you're dreading it. I know you are, I know all of you are. You can navigate this differently. Do things differently, right? Set goals in the Christmas period. Have goals. My goal is not to gain weight. My goal is just to maintain. My goal is to eat as many nutritious meals as I can outside of the events. My goal is to navigate the events wisely and in a smart way that makes me feel in control, right? My goal is not to sabotage myself for the next 2 months to then convince myself that I'm going to do everything differently just because it's a different month. Less stress on your plate and less events doesn't change what you can just eat, which is basic shit. You have to change your perception of how hard this is. Otherwise, nothing will ever change. Nothing. All right, that is it from me. A very passionate podcast because I've had probably, honestly, like a dozen of these conversations, and I have definitely eye-rolled for them because I see it all the time, and you're doing it to yourself. Till you start to do things differently, you genuinely are going to go around in circles. Approach this month differently and just treat it like any other month with a couple of extra events. And yes, some stressful shit happening, school ending, work ending, but also you're going on holidays. What do you mean? Look forward to it and stop cancelling shit and pulling stuff off your plate that is actually going to help you navigate these events in a healthy, balanced, and confident way. All right, that's it for me. I'm finished. I'm gonna flip my sausages. Sweet potato fries. Bit of a change up this week. Thanks for tuning in. Looking forward to doing another podcast for you soon. Any podcast topics you want me to cover, message me, inbox me. That's what I do. I always do stuff that's like common topics talked about. And yes, I did call you out. If this podcast applied to you this time, then I'm sorry. Not sorry.